Now, I cannot take credit for the Copen research. That was on my dad and distant cousins. And there was a group called Copen, and they did the work on the genealogy. I helped some, and so I give credit to them. Now, my dad and I would talk about it. He found, and he collaborated with the Copen family and the distant cousins. And this is what we have found on William Copen. He helped build 2 churches, and he was commissioned by George Washington. Let me rephrase that: President George Washington, to build 2 churches for him. And it's the churches that his family attended. And I have a picture here. And let me switch it around. Well, crap. There we go. This is Aquia Church. He did the Mason stone. And this is the church that he helped build. And this is some of the calligraphy work that he did. And like I said, this is the next church. Was it Pochick Church? Like I said, George Washington's family attended. That's all there is. There's some more stuff. But that is my Copen history in Virginia. And then his son, Zacchaeus Copen, got married, and they moved to Wood County. And Wood County and Work County, they split off from between Work County, and Work County became a county, and then that side of the family moved there. And his son was named after President George Washington. His name was George Washington Copen. And I have found a lot of information on George Washington Copen. He was a corporal during the Civil War. He was a Union soldier. He fought with the 7th Infantry, and they were known as the Bloody Seven. And they fought in some fierce battles. And in one battle was during Gettysburg, and he was shot in the upper shoulder on the left side, and he had to retire. His brother-in-law also served along with him. It was his wife's brother. Her name was Jane Guthrie. His name was William Guthrie. And he fought alongside of George Washington Copen. And George Washington Copen went on, and he back to Work County, and he was a farmer, and that's where he raised his children. And so William Copen Sr. was my 5th great-grandfather, so he would be my 3rd great-grandfather, George Washington Copen. And so generations from Zacchaeus Copen all the way down to me grew up in Work County. I did live in Work County when I was a baby, but we moved back, and my dad moved closer to his job. And they raised us in Wood County, Parkersburg, Vienna area. But me and my dad would go to the Wood County Library together, and there's a funny story between me and him. I was writing down stuff I found in a book about Corporal George Washington Copen and how he made $12 a month for being a Civil War veteran and all this stuff. And we were leaving, and we walked out of the genealogy room in Parkersburg, and he looked at he's seen a copier, and he's like, we should have made copies of it and just spent some money and did that instead of you writing and causing your hand to hurt. And we just laughed it off and laughed. But that's memories I have with my dad and us spending time together. And like I said, I didn't do the research, but he did. But he showed me, and I did a little bit of research with him. We went to Rose Cemetery and found Corporal George Washington Copen's gravesite. He's beside his wife, Jane Guthrie, and some of the Copen family. Now, my dad and his mother and his grandparents are buried further down, and they were buried at Bethel Cemetery. Now, his grandmother raised his grandparents, Charlie and Laura Copen, raised him in Warwick County. He was the second child of my grandparents. And I lost my dad first. Then I lost my grandma in 2017. I lost dad in 2007. And so, and then we lost Granny in 1987. She was close to 100 years old. Her name was, we called her Granny Copen. So that's the Copen family and our lineage. My dad always told me, be proud of your heritage. So I'm proud that knowing that I have ancestors that helped build the church of where President George Washington's family went to church. That's something to be proud of. And I'm proud of that. But that's my family. That's my history in living in Warwick County. And now my dad grew up on Starvation Point. He grew up very poor. And I never went to where he grew up in Starvation Point. By the time I was born, my granny and my grandma lived in Elizabeth, downtown Elizabeth. It's not a big town. It's a very rural farming community. It has, it's known for oil too. And so that's what Warwick County is known for.